From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now all the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
This episode of News 8 Daily 8 is presented by Downtown Indy.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, November 18th. A cold start with temps below freezing, but we'll warm up nicely. High 40s, low 50s today. Tomorrow begins the real warm up, though, with strong winds coming with it. And we had several major stories break overnight and early this morning today. First, U.S. Attorney for Indiana's Southern District, which includes Indianapolis, is resigning. Josh Minkler's office just made the announcement this morning. His last day will be November 21st. In a statement, the office wrote that Minkler will join a private law firm in the Indianapolis area. Minkler was sworn in 2017 after being appointed by President Trump. He succeeded Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett, whom he served under for years as Assistant U.S. Attorney. Hogsett sent us reaction, writing that Minkler is a man of integrity and ethics, proving time and time again that his commitment to our community was paramount in his decision-making and leadership. I want to thank him for his service and wish him well in this next chapter of his career. Also breaking this morning, the Federal Aviation Administration clears the Boeing 737 MAX jet for flight, although it's not clear when the planes will actually take to the skies. American is the only U.S. airline thus far to put the MAX back in its schedule starting December 29th. The government grounded the aircraft for nearly 2 years after 2 international crashes that killed 346 people. Next, there are 2 major updates in the fight against COVID-19, one in testing, the other about a vaccine. So let's tackle this in 2 parts, starting with the approval of an at-home rapid test. The FDA did approve the first in-home rapid response test for the coronavirus. It's a nasal swab test. It's from California-based Lucira. You use the swab, swirl it in a vial of solution, and plug it into a white machine. Within 30 minutes, you'll get a bright light next to positive or negative. You can only use it once, and you must have a doctor write you a prescription for this. That will likely limit its initial use, but just having one of them on a market means less pressure on public testing sites and laboratories. At-home tests are not common. There's one for pregnancy, one for HIV, but the FDA doesn't often put diagnosing in the hands of patients. They say regardless of your test results, you should report it to your doctor for a follow-up. The second topic here is vaccines. New numbers from Pfizer are again promising. This morning, Pfizer announced its vaccine results show it is 95% effective. That number was 90% last week, and it's saying right out it's very close to applying for FDA approval. There is no vaccine approval yet. Moderna also said its vaccine was 95% effective earlier this week. Moderna should apply to the FDA this month as well, so some believe it could go out to healthcare workers as early as December. Both Pfizer and Moderna have had the government foot the bill for research and trials. Manufacturing is already underway, so if both of these vaccines are fully approved, 20 million Americans could be immunized in December as well as those healthcare workers. We'll keep you posted. The FDA application announcement could be just days away here. Muncie Middle School is now closed until at least after Thanksgiving. School officials say a staff member at Southside Middle School tested positive last night. Contact tracing found that the entire front office staff and all administrators were also close contacts. They all must now quarantine for the next 14 days. The students will shift to e-learning until Thanksgiving break. All after-school activities are canceled. District officials expect to reopen the building November 30th. And as of today, all Beech Grove City schools are doing remote learning. The district's elementary schools complete the transition under Marion County's health order. Beech Grove High School and Middle School already made the switch last week due to a high number of COVID-19 cases. The district says all students will stay remote until at least January 15th. Indianapolis Public Schools Superintendent says she is not ruling out staff or program cuts due to the pandemic. The district released new data yesterday showing a 3% enrollment dip since the last academic year. That adds up to a deficit of about $15.3 million. Indiana schools are funded on a per-student basis, so as you can imagine, that's a lot of money there. According to the data, every grade level from pre-K through 6th grade fell by at least 3%. Superintendent Alicia Johnson says enrollment nationwide is declining and points to homeschooling becoming more popular.
And we're going to have to make some tough decisions, just like a family would sit around the table when they have less money in their monthly budget and decide what can we keep and what can we not. School districts across the country are going to be going through that very same exercise.
Johnson said she could not point to what would be first on the chopping block. According to IPS, grades K through 8 saw an increase in enrollment in the northwestern part of the district. It's down in the southeast portion of the district. And today, Governor Holcomb will provide his weekly coronavirus briefing in quarantine. The governor's office says several members of his security detail have tested positive for COVID-19 and that the governor and the First Lady are considered close contacts. Holcomb's office also says the Holcombs will be tested later this week, and the State Department of Health will do contact tracing for all involved. This is the second time Holcomb is quarantined. He did it last month after the state health director, Dr. Chris Box, tested positive. Box will lead today's briefing in person alongside Dr. Lindsay Weaver. Holcomb is set to join by phone. And new numbers from the state show more than 5,500 new coronavirus cases. The health department is reporting a total of more than 262,000 positive cases. 84 more lives have been lost, bringing the statewide death toll to 4,770. 12.5% of those deaths happened just since November 1st. More people are in the hospital with COVID-19 than ever before. Indiana has nearly 3,000 people in the hospital. Right now, almost 37% of ICU beds are in use for COVID-19 patients. That leaves about 25% of the beds open.
Searching for a romantic summer getaway? Escape with Rich Girl Summer, the new Audible original from Lily Chu. The exquisitely talented Philippa Sue, returning to narrate her 5th Lily Chu title. This time, Philippa is joined by her real-life husband, Stephen Pasquale. Set in Toronto's wealthy cottage country, aka the Hamptons of Canada, Rich Girl Summer follows the story of Valerie, a down-on-her-luck event planner posing as a socialite's long-lost daughter, while piecing together the secrets surrounding a mysterious family and falling deeper and deeper in love with the impossibly hard-to-read and infuriatingly handsome family assistant, Nico. Caught between pretending to belong and unexpectedly finding where she truly fits in, Valerie learns her summer is about to get far more complicated than she ever planned. She's in over her head and head over heels. Listen to Rich Girl Summer now on Audible. Go to audible.com/richgirlsummer.
Leading national healthcare organizations are calling on President Trump to share critical coronavirus information with President-elect Joe Biden. The American Medical, American Hospital, and American Nurses Associations collectively wrote a letter to President Trump. The groups communicated that sharing information can help save countless lives. AMA's president says physicians are fighting a two-front battle with COVID-19.
Never again can we allow the politics of division to undermine our ability to deliver the very best care to our patients. Never again can we allow anti-science bias and rhetoric to undermine our public health institutions and discredit the work of physicians, scientists, and researchers.
The organizations say the sharing of therapeutics and vaccines will ensure continuity and planning to avoid a lapse in ability to care for patients. A new coronavirus testing site specifically for schools opens Monday in Fishers. The city's health department says it hopes the site will get a more accurate picture of what the spread in schools really means. Monica Heltz is the public health director there in Fishers. She says most of the cases in students and school staff are not happening because of contact during school, but rather sleepovers, family gatherings, and parties. If a student or staff member catches COVID-19 anywhere, Heltz says it's automatically recorded as a positive case through the school. She says she hopes the new site will help students pinpoint issues. We have all the hours and location of the testing site on wishtv.com. Hospitals in the northern and southern part of the state are overwhelmed. That's according to the Indiana Hospital Association. The association says staffing is the number one issue at all Indiana hospitals. Some are considering using medical staff members who are asymptomatic to treat COVID-19 patients. Hospitals are anticipating this current surge to last at least a couple more weeks. And the latest official kicked out of the Trump administration is defending his decisions and the safety and security of the elections. A tweet from Chris Krebs reads, "Honored to serve, we did it right. Defend today, secure tomorrow. #Protect 2020. Krebs was the chief of cybersecurity at the Department of Homeland Security until the president fired him last night. Trump was unhappy with Krebs' repeated claims that the vote was secure. In a new tweet, the president again claims fraud, and Twitter is again flagging the claim as disputed. Republican and Democratic election officials in Michigan's largest county suddenly agree. The panel, known as the Board of Canvassers, has unanimously certified the results for Wayne County. It's home to Detroit, marking a major step toward declaring Joe Biden the official winner of the state. Republicans had temporarily blocked certification, claiming voting irregularities. Then last night, the board members abruptly changed course and agreed to certify. Michigan's Secretary of State says there is no evidence of any widespread fraud or irregularities. The current count of vote totals in Michigan has Joe Biden winning by more than 146,000 votes. Georgia is on track to finish an audit of the presidential election results today, ahead of Friday's certification deadline. Top state voting officials say the vast majority of counties are reporting results that are almost exact to initial tallies. The hand recount of nearly 5 million votes stems from an audit required by a new state law. It was not in response to any suspected problems. Going into the count, Joe Biden led by 0.3%. Once results are certified, the losing candidate can request a recount if the margin remains within 0.5%. And the president-elect is revealing several of his top White House staffers. Biden is drawing from the senior ranks of his campaign and some of his closest advisors. Former campaign manager Jen O'Malley Dillon will serve as a deputy chief of staff. Campaign co-chair Louisiana Representative Cedric Richmond and campaign advisor Steve Ricchetti will also hold senior roles in the new administration. The new hires are part of an initial wave of what will ultimately be hundreds of new White House aides hired in the coming weeks. The Midwest Food Bank is hosting the first of two major food distributions today. Both will be at a new site opened with CARES Act funding because of increased need. It's on the south side on Kopetsky Drive near Harding. This morning's distribution began at 8:30 and will run until noon. A second distribution is set for December. And now to business headlines. Hospitals may have to ration Eli Lilly's new COVID-19 treatment as the rapid spread of the virus strains their limited supplies. Reuters reports that hospitals and medical groups are considering giving the antibody drug, which was cleared for emergency use last week, only to people with multiple coronavirus risk factors or those whose immune systems haven't started to fight off the virus. The Trump administration has purchased 300,000 doses of the treatment, but experts say that may only cover a week's worth of new infections. As UPS and FedEx brace for unprecedented volumes this holiday season, they're also preparing for the complex task of distributing COVID-19 vaccines. Logistics analysts say this could spell trouble. One analyst says as many as 7 million packages may not make it to their destinations on time. UPS has hired 50,000 people for the holidays that can help move packages and vaccines to where they need to go. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates predicts more than 50% of business travel and more than 30% of days in the office will go away in the pandemic's aftermath. Moving forward, Gates predicted that there will be a very high threshold for conducting business trips, and there will always be a way to work from home with technology. The pandemic has devastated air travel demand, particularly for lucrative business trips. Low interest rates have helped fuel a boom in the U.S. housing market. Last quarter, Americans' mortgage debt climbed to a record high of nearly $10 trillion. That's according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. At the beginning of this month, mortgage rates fell to a record low, the 12th record low in 2020. And when it comes to charitable donations, Indiana is the bottom half of the states. Wallet Hub ranks Indiana 26th. A high percentage of Hoosiers did donate food, though. U.S. donors in 2019 gave more than $449 billion to charity. And to wrap the News 8 Daily 8 up today, let's talk about the Colts. The AFC playoff picture is starting to come into focus, but it is crowded at the top. The AFC currently has 9 teams with at least 6 wins. Before the matchup on Sunday, it's a 4 p.m. home game. We're hosting the Packers on Sunday. Don't miss our countdown to kickoff. It is the only 1-hour Colts pregame show in the state, so tune in at 11 a.m. Sunday to get ready for the game. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This episode of News 8 Daily 8 is presented by Downtown Indy.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.